Hello there. My name is Danny, and I'm doing this video. I'm not really like a YouTube person, but I'm doing this video because I recently broke my hand, and I've done quite a few internet searches for videos or information as far as what to expect, or if I'm going to get better, or things like that. And if you do a Google search for the type of break that I had, you don't get a lot of results. There's a lot of results for carpal tunnel or boxer's fracture, trigger finger, stuff like that. But there's really not a lot for if you break a metacarpal bone. And so I recently broke my hand, like I said. No big story behind it. I was walking and I tripped. I was just on my phone. The sidewalk turned into a step and I didn't see it and I fell, and apparently my hand took it all. And I kind of knew right away that it was broken because of the way that it was closing. I don't even know how to describe it. I was trying to pick up my phone, okay, because it had fallen on the sidewalk. I tried to pick up my phone and I couldn't put my hand together in a way to pick it up. So I picked it up with my other hand and I called my husband, and I remember crying and just kind of wailing I think I broke my hand. I think I broke my hand. So I did. I big time broke my hand. So I don't have any fancy video editing stuff. So I'm just going to show you the picture. So right here, it's hard to hold the paper. Right there is where it shattered. There was quite a few pieces. This is only one view. There's a view that they took of the side where I'm very lucky it didn't come through the skin, because there was a shard of bone that was coming out. Yeah, there's my broken hand. It required a plate and a couple screws to hold it all in there. And I think I've been kind of surprised. I don't know what I was expecting. I kind of expected after my surgery that I would wake up and I knew that it would hurt. I thought I'd be in a cast, and I wasn't. I was in a splint. And my expectations of when they took the cast off were different than were different than what I was expecting. I was expecting to be able to move my hand, but it being sore, that it would hurt. So if I tried to make a fist, it would hurt, but I thought that I would still have range of motion in my hand, and I didn't. I had no range of motion in my hand. So when on that first checkup, I was just kind of taken aback. Oh, side note, if you do have to get surgery on your hand, I don't know if they do this everywhere, if it's standard practice, but I woke up. This is my bed buddy. We call him SpongeBob. You wake up and there's this opening here, and you just kind of you slide your hand in there, and there's holes. And this is what I have to sleep in every night to keep my hand elevated, and so that I don't go back and crush my hand again. So this takes up quite a good chunk of my bed at night. Fortunately, it's on my left hand, so I can still lay next to my husband. But yeah, so just a fun side note that if you're going to get surgery on your hand, you might have some kind of weird device on your hand when you wake up, and you'll be super confused as to what's on your hand, because you're coming out of anesthesia and there's a giant foam hole thing on your hand. But when they took my hand out of the cast, splint, I keep saying cast, it was dead weight. There was no real feeling. It didn't seem like my hand. It was like this big purple swollen thing just flopping on the table that I couldn't control. I mean, it wasn't flopping, but I couldn't control it. So if I put it down, it would just, flop down. with a huge incision, which I couldn't see, but I could see the tape, like where they had put. And side note, my doctor meant well, he wanted to leave minimal scarring. So instead of doing sutures, he did like steri strips and an adhesive. I have an allergic reaction to adhesives, and so we had a slight complication with my hand because I was allergic, and my whole hand was red and inflamed. And because of that, it's not entirely closed. There's nothing there. I mean, I could take the Band-Aid off, but well, let me show you what I've got here. So I broke my third metacarpal right here, the shaft right here. Don't have my full range of motion yet, but so I'll show you what my incision looks like. So this is what it looks like right now, and it starts about down here. This is healed up like really nice. It starts down here, and it ends about right there where you can see that little thing. So that was, I mean, that's my whole hand. It was a bigger incision than what I thought it was going to be. I thought I would just have like a little sliver right there. That's what I was expecting. So when I saw it, I was a little taken aback by how large my scar was going to be. And I really couldn't move much. I remember I took a video of this gigantic purple hand that was swollen, and all I could do was move my thumb, and I could just move my pinky. That was about the extent of what I could move my hand. So expect that if you're going to have your hand surgery, if you just feel like, oh my gosh, this isn't my hand anymore, I'm going to go ahead and guess that that's kind of normal. I don't really know. I haven't really been able to talk to anybody about this because a lot of people that I know have had boxer's fractures, which is fracturing right here from punching something, or, you know, normally this finger and this finger are the main ones that most people break because they're on the outsides. But so I broke my metacarpal, which is right where that main tendon goes across to control all your fingers. So it's a bit more complicated healing wise. If you break your pinky, you still have all these other fingers. You still have that main tendon that works okay. So it's not the same. It's a little bit different. So it went right up through my tendon. The plate is right here. I don't know how many screws he put in. I think my husband said he put in 2. And so I wanted to do these videos to kind of update you on like what's going on. So there's been a lot of crying in the last week and a half. So I've had several physical therapy appointments, and let me just tell you, if I had shot this video this morning, it would not be the same as I'm shooting it right now. This morning, my hand was very tight and very sore, and I think every morning when I wake up, my hand's just like locked, and I have to set my alarm about 20 minutes earlier than normal just to lay there and massage it and get it working again so I can take a shower. I still have to wear my cool shower glove, but so it's a rough start to the morning. I apply a heat pack. The heat pack is like amazing. It will help you with your physical therapy. And if you're doing it at home, use a heat pack. It just warms everything, gets it all loose, and it'll help you a lot. So this morning I had very little range of motion. We found out yesterday that I have developed a lot of scar tissue. So my scar tissue ranges, it's going all the way here. It started encompassing my other fingers. It spread up to here, and it was starting to spread down my wrist. And so even in these fingers, my fingers that weren't broken, I had very limited range of motion because of that scar tissue. I still have a lot of bruising right here. Like, so I don't have function in my hand. You can see that tendon, kind of. You're not supposed to be able to see your tendons that much. Like if your hand is straight, like it doesn't pop out a little tendon right there. Right here, if I really try to straighten it, you can see that tendon. And so we did talk about another surgery because my scar tissue had gotten, or not had gotten, is stuck in my plate and screws. So this all hardened, and it's adhesions is what they're called. There's an adhesion between the scar tissue and my plate, and it's causing my fingers to not work. So if you tell me to go like this, see how nice and straight that is? This is where we're at right now. That is as straight as I can get it. I'm like really gonna try to straighten it, and it's just not working. Which is really weird because the sensation's the same. If I close my eyes and straighten it, I can't tell that my finger's hanging down. It feels like I'm doing this, but I'm not. I'm only doing this. I can now do that where I couldn't before. When I first got the cast off, there was no way I could crunch those fingers. There's no way that was happening. One of my, look how much bigger that that knuckle is. I swear it's like longer. Did they extend my finger? Like, I don't understand. So here's my normal fist. This is our tight fist. And that's about as much as I can flex it now. And I actually have a much better grip now than I did this morning. So what we did is even though my incision's still like a little bit open, I had that allergic reaction, everything inflamed. It didn't quite heal the way it was going to or supposed to. But we did, I was a sobbing, crying mess this morning because my hand wasn't doing anything. And I told my physical therapist, and she said, okay, we're going to do scar tissue massage. And we can't get right where the scar tissue is because it's still a little bit open. But she said we're going to do all around it. And let me just tell you, as soon as you can, start scar massaging, because I made leaps and bounds after that. My hand was totally stuck. Like there wasn't a lot that I could do that didn't cause like searing pain. And we massaged my hand for so long, and it hurt, but like kind of in a good way. Like you could tell like she was getting deep in there. And it was just amazing. It helped so much. I had started to lose, I don't have full range of my wrist. When I first got my cast off splint, my wrist was fine. I'm developing scar tissue. And so this morning, I'm in the mirror, getting ready. My shirt was like that. And I went to straighten it out. I can do it now. See? I went to straighten it out, and I couldn't get my wrist down. And I was like, what is happening here? I couldn't bend my wrist enough. And I could before. This was a new development. And so I think that's why I was a mess this morning, because I had and even still, if I really try to put my wrist down, I still don't have it all back yet. But I'm honestly hoping to look back at this video and see how far I've come. I wish that I had done videos before today, because even just watching a video from last week, the difference, I think it would be more motivating, and kind of tell me like to keep going. Okay, I'm not gonna start crying. Because I was losing faith that this was doing anything. And so I wish I could go back and see how I was, because now I can do this at least. I can't fully put my knuckles up, but that would have been impossible a week ago. There's no way that could have happened. I can do what she calls tabletops, which is straighten my hand. I can't like totally make it. It's doing pretty good though. Oh, I'm losing my band-aid. Yeah, so I have a lot of bruising here still. And if we can't get more motion back, we have to do a second surgery. He said to basically free my scar tissue adhesions from my plate. But hopefully with enough physical therapy, it's going to come free on its own, and I don't have to do another surgery, because the more you go into, do surgery, the more you open somebody up, the more adhesions you're going to have. And so cutting my hand back open to free my tendons, it's just going to make more scar tissue that we'll have to work through. And so I'm really hoping that I can get it on my own. I have to wear this adorable splint when I'm not at home or in a controlled environment to protect my hand. So I put this sock. It's basically a sock. I've at least graduated out of the compression sock. They put a compression sock on here, and let me tell you, I know it's supposed to stop swelling, but I swear it felt like it trapped the swelling. My hand would get so puffy. The swelling was just insane. And so you put it on like this. See if I can hold it up with my finger. Which this morning, I'm telling you, scar massage, it turned my day around. Let me just tell you, because the pain is not nearly as intense as it was this morning. Now tomorrow I'm probably going to wake up and be really stiff again. And then maybe I'll shoot another video and be like, I can't do this anymore. But, so this is what I wear when I'm out and about. When I'm driving, I kind of cheat, and because it's really uncomfortable, I'll take the top ones out and move my hand more to grab the steering wheel. But, so that's what I wear when I'm out and about. So, for my own record purposes, I'm just going to show one more time. So, here's my tabletop, which is really good because it used to be like that. That was my tabletop. Now my tabletop's nice and flat. Still losing my band-aid. Okay, so here's my knuckles. Yeah. This is amazing because these fingers were like crunched together. They were really weird looking before my surgery. And here's my fist. I sometimes will try and poke that down. That doesn't feel very good. Darn band-aid. Forget the band-aid. So here's my fist. And I have kind of a grip. I can kind of hold stuff. My other fingers are my champions. They're holding on to stuff for me. Here's my incision. And I guess if you're interested, I'll post updates, kind of how things are going. But like I said, I just wanted to do this video because there was no other videos that I found where somebody had a plate and screws put on their metacarpal and their recovery time and what to expect. And so there we go. That's that.